Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the inaugural meeting of the International Society for Academic Advancement, or ISAA, of Samyuk University. My name is Serena Yoon, and it is a true privilege to be your MC for this ever so meaningful event. Now let us officially begin the inaugural meeting of the SU ISAA. Our gracious Father God has led this university for the past 116 years. He allowed us to successfully host the international conference on the 115th anniversary last year, and he has also guided every step of our process of preparing for this inaugural meeting. And we glorify him for his love and grace that guided this university all the way through here and where it stands today. So, may I ask everyone to please rise and praise him by singing together the hymn, "To God Be the Glory." And since we have limited time, we're going to have only singing of the first verse.
그 신이를 이루신 하나님께 큰 영광과 존귀를 늘 돌리세. 독생자를 주셔서 구하시니 이 죄인들 생명길 찾았도다. 주 찬양 주 찬양 큰 소리로 찬양 주 찬양 기쁨으로 찬양 만 백성들 모여서 찬양하세. 이 신이를 이루신 하나님께.
Now, I ask everyone to please remain standing as and join Dr. Haejong Jae, head chaplain of Samyuk University, as he offers an opening prayer for us.
Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for protecting our university like the pupil of the eye for the past 116 years in the midst of many challenges, and for guiding us to this day in your providence. Thank you for leading the Korean Adventist Church to fulfill the mission of the gospel through our university. Today we gather to hold the inaugural meeting of the International Society for Academic Advancement. Through this, please help our university go beyond the boundaries of the Korean Church and be reborn as an institution that fulfills the mission of education to the world. Please lead Adventist schools and scholars around the world to create a platform for sharing their academic excellence through this new academic society. Dear Father, now we are about to begin our inaugural meeting. Please bless this first step and be with it. Please bless each and every one of us here as we start this meeting. In Jesus' name I pray.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jae. And now it is my privilege to introduce our distinguished guests who have taken their valuable time to be here with us today. So as I mention their names, please welcome them with a warm round of applause. First, we're joined by Pastor Sun-gi Kang, President of the Korean Union Conference. Thank you. And we're delighted to be joined by some of our great former presidents of Samyuk University. So please welcome Dr. and Pastor Taeguk Nam. who will be here shortly. And we're also joined by Dr. and Pastor Kwang-soo Seo. Please rise so that everyone can see you. Thank you. We also have Dr. and Pastor and Professor Sung-ik Kim, who is on his way as well. And then next, we have Dr. Tu-han Park, President of Samyuk Health University. Welcome. We're joined also by Professor Jong Sung Im, President of the Samyuk University Alumni Association. And next, we have with us a group of members of the steering committee of Samyuk University. The committee comprises of the executives of the Korean Union Conference, presidents of the 5 provincial Korean conferences, and the board members of Samyuk elementary, middle, and high schools in Korea, and those who joined the committee by recommendation. So if you are here, please rise so that we could welcome you with a warm round of applause. Thank you very much. And we also have a special guest, a retired senior professor, Dr. Byung-ho Chang, if he's with us. Welcome. We also have some Samyuk University alumni and members of Korean SDA churches in the United States. And as one of the representatives, I'd like to introduce medical doctor Jenny Yu, who is from Hawaii, actually, as the special lecturer for our prayer week. So please welcome Dr. Jenny Yu. Last but not least, we have Bob Koch University Dean of Graduate School, Dr. Ayan D.G. Aina. He's with us here with his heart. He's on his way, flying on the plane to be here with us. But due to this uncooperative schedules, he will be arriving this afternoon. But we certainly welcome him already. So, once again, we'd like to thank all our distinguished guests and participants for their presence here. And now we will invite Dr. Il-Mok Kim, President of Samyuk University, to the stage to hear his welcoming remarks. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. It is my great pleasure to announce to you that Samyuk University has established the International Society for Academic Advancement, ISAA. First, I would like to express my appreciation to all of those who came and are joining us today. We have Pastor Sung-ki Kang, the president of Korean Union Conference, and the board members of Samyuk University, and welcome. I'd like to extend my warm welcome to Dr. Ayanji Aina, the dean of the graduate school, Backup University in Nigeria. He's on the plane right now. I sincerely thank you for coming all the way. We also have professors and graduate students here. Thank you for taking the time to attend the ceremony. And to all who are joining us via YouTube Live, presidents, professors, administrators, and students of more than 120 sister institutions around the world, you are all very welcome. In celebration of the 116th anniversary, Samyuk University has established the ISAA to form and expand academic exchanges and cooperation with our sister institutions all over the world. The International Conference of Samyuk University 2021, which was held last year, has accelerated the cultivation of academic and missionary cooperation among researchers from all parts of the world. I'm confident that the International Society for Academic Advancement, as an extension of what the past international conference has achieved, will serve as a momentum to carry out God's will in education and mission, surmounting linguistic and racial barriers. May the Lord pour out His blessings in abundance upon the ISAA and all the participants. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, President Kim, for your warm welcome. And we will now invite Dr. Hyun-hee Kim, Vice President of Samyuk University, who will present a progress report of the International Society for Academic Advancement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Kim with a big round of applause.
It is my great pleasure and honor to report the progress of the establishment of the International Society for Academic Advancement, ISAA, in commemoration of the 116th anniversary of Samyuk University. The planning of the ISAA began right after the International Conference of Samyuk University, ICSU 2021, which was successfully held last year with 1,032 participants, including professors, researchers, and students from 54 countries. To continue such active international networking, the Graduate School of Samyuk University organized a special academic committee. The committee members have been working hard on the opening of the official ISAA website, recruiting society members, planning for the inaugural meeting, and promoting the event. We have informed the General Conference, Northern Asia Pacific Division, the Korean Union Conference, Adventist institutions, and the president of 75 sister universities around the world of the establishment of ISAA, asking for their sincere prayers and participation. Adventist institutions in America, Oceania, Asia, and Africa let us know that they support our plan and that they are willing to join us for the conference. Moreover, many professors from all over the world have expressed their interest in serving as the board members. The ISAA Steering Committee recommended the first president and 2 auditors, and their appointments will be made today at this very inaugural meeting. If the appointments are confirmed, the ISAA will be officially registered in National Research Foundation of Korea as an international academic society. Looking back, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Samyuk University President Ilmo Kim, who has shown great leadership in establishing the ISAA. I also thank the administrators for their unwavering support and cooperation. None of this would have been possible without Andrew's dedication and hard work of the 8 academic committee professors, each of whom represent different academic fields. I'd also like to recognize contributions that graduate school staff, 2 coordinators, and Professor Sung-Ne Shin have made. This year, Samyang University has declared Environmental, Social, and Governance, ESG in abbreviation, management. In line with that, we have secured 2 video lectures with the topic of ESG for the seminar commemorating the establishment of the ISAA. One was prepared by Dr. Liza Bursley Hardy, the Director of the Education Department of General Conference. And the other talk is by Professor Maria Balabat, an ESG expert from the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. It is our deep prayer and hope that the ISAA will energize interaction among Adventist universities and institutions around the world, and will strive to become a platform for God's institutions to grow and expand academic expertise, cultural scope, and above all, missionary work. I give thanks, praise, and glory to the God of Ebenezer, who has brought us and led us this far. I'd like to see you again at ISAA conference next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice President Kim. Moving on, Pastor Sun Gi-kang, President of the Korean Union Conference, is here with us to deliver his congratulatory speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Kang with a big round of applause.
Good morning, and somewhere it's good afternoon, and the others good evening. Greetings to you all from Korean Union Conference. I'm Pastor Kang, the President of Korean Union Conference. First of all, I would like to welcome you to the ISAA inaugural meeting at Samyang University. Brothers and sisters, I'm very pleased to establish ISAA and holding inaugurating meeting. With the inauguration of ISAA, Adventist university all around the world come together to exchange educational experience and share research know-hows. In addition, this gathering will provide a platform for internationalization suitable for a global era. Many students will also be benefited by participants in various academic conferences to develop an international sense. As you know, Samyang University has a long history, already celebrating 116th anniversary at this year. Samyang University not only nurtures talented workers for the church who can fulfill God-given gospel mission, but also has a great impact on the development of Korean society. So, as an Adventist, I'm very proud to have Samyang University as one of our major institutions. 116 years ago, in October of 1906, Samyuk University was started at Sunan Eumyeong School from Sobak Mountain in Sunan, Pyongan Province. Since then, we have gone through turbulent modern history of Korea to get to where we are here today. Pastor Smith, who was served as the first missionary in Korea, had a vision for mission in Korea and prayed that Samyuk University would play a vital role in expanding gospel work in Korea. Dreams come true. Samyuk University is now playing a critical role in educating and providing qualified workers for the church and also for the country. Brothers and sisters, I can clearly tell you that Samyuk University's beginning was small and very weak. But now it has grown to be a most well-prepared university among the Adventist universities all around the world. You will be surprised to see how excellent and well-equipped our facilities and capabilities are. Such growth and development was only possible because of God's grace and because of your prayers and your support. Brothers and sisters, I believe that Samyuk University is now in a position to share these benefits and these blessings it has received from the World Church and the sisters' universities. I pray that this gathering will be a time for all of us to enjoy God's blessings and share what we have received from God. We, the members of Samyuk University, hope to move forward with you as we look the bright future. Once again, I would like to congratulate you on this inaugural meeting of the ISAA. And it is my prayer that God's abundant blessing be with you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, President Kang, for your heartfelt congratulations. You know, we also received a few video messages of congratulations. So first, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Pastor Johan Kim, President of the Northern Asia Pacific Division of the General Conference.
Congratulations. As a commemorative event for the 116th anniversary of the Samyuk University. There is no doubt that it was a very timely step for Samyuk University to take the lead in establishing ISAA. The ESG seminar is also an eco-friendly movement that the world is actively pursuing with great interest. As the earth is dying due to the environmental pollution, and human beings living there are perishing. This is a movement that all companies, environmentalists, and humans should overcome together. Through this seminar, we hope that an environment in which the earth can also live and future generations can live well is built.
Education Director of the Northern Asia Pacific Division of the General Conference. And he has recently been appointed to the position of Associate Director of Education of the General Conference. So we should congratulate him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Dr. Sabuin.
Congratulations.
And its administration for establishing the International Society for Academic Advancement, or ISAA. This is a platform for doing research, for formulating new theories, for sharing information, for exchanging knowledge, and of course, for strengthening faith. Luke, a physician by profession, who wrote the Gospel of Luke and the book of Acts of the Apostles in the Bible, share with us a principle of how to deal with new information and knowledge. Luke 17 verse 11 says, "Now the Bereans were of more noble character than the Thessalonians, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true." We are to be open to new information, invention, and knowledge. But being open does not mean that we would always accept and agree on everything. Let the Society of International Scholars be a place where various kinds of academic information and invention or knowledge are examined based on the scriptures, the standard of the truth. It is my hope that the society is a place where those who are developing their research receive support. Those who need training and mentoring will find assistance, and those who are searching for the truth will find it. Once again, congratulations, Samyuk University, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, and God bless you too, Dr. Sabuin. Next are congratulatory messages from our sister universities, which are many, but we have received a few. So let's find out who they are.
Greetings from Andrews University to all attendees of the inaugural session of the ISAA at Samyuk University. As president at Andrews, I would like to first congratulate Samyuk for their vision in establishing the International Society for Academic Advancement, which seeks to provide a rich forum for the worldwide Adventist higher education community to exchange knowledge, share ongoing research, and generally advance the work of higher education in all academic areas. I greatly appreciate their intent to create also an inclusive space so that students at graduate, undergraduate, and even high school level have the opportunity to engage in conference activities. We are in a global marketplace, and higher education is no exception. As part of the network of Seventh-day Adventist educational institutions, we are particularly in tune with the advantages of global connections. So, thank you to Samyuk University for establishing a forum to not just recognize the importance of global education, but also to nurture its possibilities. And finally, greetings also to all of those of you who are attending this session. Whatever institution you are affiliated with, I want to share with you the collegial greetings of our Andrews University family and wish you God's richest blessings as you engage in your important work.
Greetings from Avondale University. My name is Kevin Petrie, President of Avondale, and it is my privilege to congratulate Samyuk University on the establishment of the International Society for Academic Achievement. It is also an opportunity to recognize 115 years of excellence in education by Samyuk University. The establishment of the ISAA is a unique opportunity for knowledge exchange, for collaborative projects, for the creation of diverse and inclusive learning communities. These are things which are of high value to the sector. Again, my congratulations to Samyuk University, and it is a privilege to be associated with your institution.
Thank you very much, Dr. Luxton, who is the president of the Andrews University, and Dr. Petrie, who is the president of Avondale University. And as much as we'd like to share with you all the congratulatory messages that we have received, we just cannot consume so much of time. So we'd like to thank everyone who gave us the congratulatory messages. Next, to celebrate this meaningful event, a group of Samyuk University faculty members has prepared a special music for you. Thank you very much, professors, for the beautiful music. And now we will proceed to the confirmation of the Articles of Association and the appointment of the first president and auditors of the ISAA. Dr. Seung-won Lee, Associate Dean of the Samyuk University Graduate School, will preside over the procedure. So ladies and gentlemen, let us invite Associate Dean Lee with a big round of applause.
Greetings, everyone. This time, we'll confirm the Articles of Association presented by the ISAA Steering Committee. Please review the Articles of Association posted on the bulletin board of the association's website. If there are no objections or other opinions, we confirm the articles of association with a round of applause from all the members present. Next, we'll appoint the first president and 2 auditors recommended by the ISAA Promotion Committee. Since the Promotion Committee has already made the recommendations in consideration of various circumstances, we will now present it with the procedure to replace with approval with a round of applause from all the members present. The ISAA Promotion Committee has recommended Dr. Kim Il-mo as the first president. The committee has also recommended Dr. Go Won-bae, Dean of School of Science and Technology in Samyuk University, and Dr. Kim Sung-woon, Dean of School of Culture and Arts in Samyuk University, as the auditors. I ask the 3 nominees to please come forward. Now, we will begin the confirmation of the first president of the ISAA and 2 auditors. First of all, if you think Dr. Kim Il-mo, the president of some university, is the right president to be the first president of the ISAA, please agree with a big round of applause. I hereby declare that Kim Il-mo, president of Samyuk University, has been appointed as the first president of ISAA. Next, if you believe that Dr. Go Won-bae and Dr. Kim Sung-woon of Samyuk University are suitable for the auditor of ISAA, please agree with a big round of applause. I hereby declare that Dr. Kim Sung-woon and Dr. Go Won-bae have been appointed as ISAA auditors. Once again, please give a big round of applause to both the first president and the 2 auditors who took on the significant responsibility for ISAA. Let's listen to President Kim Il-mo's acceptance speech as the first president of ISAA.
I am deeply honored and humbled to stand here today before many talented and qualified people. I would like to thank the board members for placing your confidence, advancement, ISAA, and trusting me to serve as the first president of the International Society for Academic Advancement, ISAA. I accept this important leadership role as the president of the ISAA. It is my belief that the establishment of the ISAA will play a major role in supporting and carrying forward God's work more effectively with the help of Adventist higher education institutions all over the world. Together, with the strong support of the worldwide Adventist communities, we will strive to spread the Adventist message through professional research and other creative and leading methodologies. Dear Adventist college and university presidents and administrators, professors, researchers, students, and believers, I would like to take this opportunity to ask for your prayers and continuous support for the ISAA. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, President Kim. Ladies and gentlemen, Samyuk University's International Society for Academic Advancement, or ISAA, has now officially been organized and founded. Shall we celebrate this very historic and important moment of this university with another round of applause, please? Thank you. And as we wish for our God's abundant blessings to be with the ISAA's first president and all other members, as well as all the activities, projects, and events that they are planning, let us invite Dr. Kuk-Kun Lee, Dean of the Samyuk Graduate School of Theology, up to the stage for a closing prayer.
Let us bow our head and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, in this beautiful day, we gather here together with gratitude to God. You have established many educational institutions on this earth, and you have led the faithful servants who serve you in teaching and research and service. It is all thanks to God that we are organizing the meaningful academic institutes today. Now, please guide these academic institutes to become an important institute that realized the will of God. Dear God, bless the leaders who lead the ISAA and give the power of the Holy Spirit to all the researchers belonging to these academic institutes. Today, we took our first step, but help us make this first step a great step. Always guide God's will and wisdom to spread throughout the world through this ISAA. Dear Father, we believe in God's power to create. We believe that the power to create is also given to us. Now, through this power, let all the Adventist church leaders, researchers from all over the world come together to be witness to the Lord who testified to God's truth. I thank you for leading this historical moment today, and I pray in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the inaugural meeting of the International Society for Academic Advancement. Once again, our deepest appreciation goes to all the distinguished guests and participants from online and offline here for their undivided interest and support. Now, immediately following, we will have an ESG seminar prepared for you for commemorating the 116th anniversary of Samyuk University. So be sure to stay, enjoy the lectures of the two renowned professors. But before we do that, we'll take a moment for a group photo shoot. So all the persons concerned and guests are kindly asked to please come up to the stage for the group photo session. welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second part of the program, the ESG seminar in commemoration of the 116th anniversary of Samyuk University. Some of the participants are just very happy to greet each other, so we'll take a little more moment to wait for the first lecture. Okay, I think we're ready. So let us officially begin the ESG seminar in commemoration of the 116th anniversary of Samyuk University. So at its celebration of the 116th anniversary on October 11th, Samyuk University had an ESG proclamation ceremony and has been hosting various events under the theme of Love for Life and Restoration of the Earth. So we hope today's seminar will offer us an opportunity to ruminate on what ESG means and which stands for Environment, Social, and Governance, and also to think about elements for our university's sustainable development. Now, the first lecture is titled Understanding ESG, and our lecturer is Dr. Maria Balatbat, Senior Lecturer of the School of Accounting, Auditing, and Taxation at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. So as an expert in climate and environment, Dr. Balatbat has conducted a number of ESG-related activities and research endeavoring for the sustainable development of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Dr. Maria Balatbat on the screen.
Greetings to everyone. I hope this video Senior Lecturer at the School of Accounting, Auditing and Taxation at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. I'm privileged to be invited by Professor Kim of Samyuk University and the Planning Committee Chair of this inaugural International Society for Academic Advancement to deliver a seminar on ESG. Let me tell you a little about my university and myself. UNSW is ranked 44 in the world, and our business school is ranked #1 in Australia. My research is broadly about embedding ESG dimensions in mainstream decision-making, and this is demonstrated by my grant income and publications in this area. And the work that I do with several research centers, namely the Collaboration for Energy and Environmental Markets, better known as SEAM, and the Digital Grid Futures Institute. Furthermore, I have developed 2 courses for the business school. One on reporting for climate change and sustainability, and another on ESG reporting and enterprise value creation. And today, I'm happy to share my knowledge on ESG reporting to your esteemed group, who I'm sure are all keen to establish ESG management in your respective organizations. Sustainability and ESG are areas of rapid significant change, shaping how businesses are conducted, regulated, measured, and reported on. Today, I would like to talk about the basics of ESG and what it is and why ESG is important. I would also like to talk about the current trends in ESG reporting, the current developments in international accounting standard setting, and what this means for the future of ESG reporting in South Korea. Before I go on any further, let's start off with basic explanation of what ESG stands for. The abbreviation ESG stands for Environment, Social, and Governance. Environment will represent information on climate change and carbon emissions, energy efficiency, pollution and waste, water use, biodiversity, and deforestation. While social will cover customer satisfaction, human rights, health and safety, data protection and privacy, gender and diversity, community relations, among others. And lastly, governance will be how effectively the organization is managed, showing structure on board diversity, board expertise, committees, management view on business ethics, and tax transparency, and more importantly, how risks and opportunities are managed and embedded in the organization's business model. Many providers of ESG information track about several hundreds of ESG categories, and those I mentioned are only some of the few categories covered by ESG reporting. ESG is a term popularized by a group of responsible investors with a view that they could screen the funds under their management that will align with the purpose of their investors. There is no real definition of ESG that I am aware of. For example, religious organizations were well ahead of this practice, where they were screening investments in the so-called sin stocks. Examples of sin stocks are those engaged in gambling, alcohol and tobacco, weapons of mass destruction. And just recently, the capital market also observed the popularity of the divestment in the oil and gas sector in society's effort to combat climate change. There are also several definitions that have influenced policymaking and businesses in this space, which is worthwhile to mention. The report on our common future, prepared by the World Commission on Environment and Development, better known as the Brundtland Report, after its chair, Gro Brundtland. And this report opened the eyes of society on the biggest challenge we face this century, leading to a definition of a sustainable development, which is to seek and meet the needs and aspirations of the present generation without compromising the needs and aspirations of the future generations. We also saw the development of Sustainable Development Goals, or better known as SDGs, by the United Nations General Assembly, setting up 17 interlinked global goals by 2030, designed to be a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. Universities are also ranked based on their impact on achieving these goals, and I'm proud to say that UNSW is ranked 55 in the world by the Times Higher Education ranking, and UNSW has achieved the highest ranking for its contribution in SDG 6 for clean water and sanitation, and SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. These definitions may be in conflict with the goals and mission of an organization. After all, Milton Friedman, in his seminal paper in 1962, rejects the view that corporate managers have any moral obligations or responsibilities to society other than to its shareholders. And the organization has no further responsibility as long as they stay within the rules of the game. Strictly speaking, the responsibility of the board of directors are to its shareholders. However, if other stakeholders affect the way the organization pursue their business goals, then the needs of others need to be considered as well. Businesses are also subjected to regulations as the world experienced over the last decades environmental disasters, and such well-known ones are the Exxon Valdez oil spill in Prince William Sound in Alaska in 1989, and the BP Deepwater Horizon disaster in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010, where 11 people died. There were all societal concerns in the way organizations are operating, particularly in third world countries, such as sweatshops of Nike and the 2012 Dhaka garment factory fire in Bangladesh that killed hundreds of people. All these influenced the evolution of sustainability reporting for organizations to be able to continue and maintain their license to operate. In addition, views are changing. Those charged with governance, such as the board of directors or the senior management team, should manage the organization for the benefit of all stakeholders, not just those with control over scarce resources. If we accept that an entity has a responsibility for its social and environmental performance, then organizations should provide an account of social and environmental performance. John Elkington, in 1997, coined triple bottom line reporting. where he defines this as the simultaneous pursuit of economic prosperity, environmental quality, and social equity. Companies aiming for sustainability need to perform not against a single financial bottom line, but against the triple bottom line, thus including environmental and social performance indicators in annual reports for organizations. This was the start of sustainability reporting and also the now well-accepted ESG reporting. As the world navigates the 21st century, where change is a certainty, ESG considerations are becoming increasingly important. We are experiencing trends, both natural and man-made. Natural, such as extreme weather events brought about by climate change, biodiversity loss, man-made events, such as pollution and waste, inequities, territorial disputes, and cybersecurity. In order to continue sustainably, organizations must be aware of risks and opportunities of these external and internal trends. The World Economic Forum prepares a regular report on economic risks, and these trends are often in the list of high impact and high probability to affect economic growth. ESG reporting is about an organization disclosing data about the three dimensions or pillars on the E, the S, and the G, and explaining the impact of the organization's societal value. ESG contains summaries of quantitative and qualitative information and are complemented by a performance analysis in ESG dimensions to provide stakeholders and investors with an insight into the goals and achievements and impact of an organization's business. With that increased global interest in environmental and social topics, the importance of ESG reporting has also risen and has become an indispensable part of businesses. With an increasing number of companies for which ESG reporting is already mandatory, it's probably just a matter of time when all organizations will find this an essential part of business reporting. Why is ESG reporting important? With the constant increase of regulations concerning ESG reporting, it becomes increasingly important for businesses to report on those topics to help users, particularly for investors, to make an informed decision about the organization's ability to create value. ESG reporting is also important since it enables companies to be more transparent about the opportunities and risks they face. A lack of transparency might lead investors to consider less of the organization, since they might see the non-disclosure of performance in these three areas posing a higher financial risk and thus avoid investing in these organizations. Reporting on ESG issues can also make an organization attractive as a brand, as an employer. A survey from First Insight shows that customers, and in particular Gen Z, who are currently aged 10 to 25, are most willing to support brands that support ESG issues, where up to 62% of them would prefer to buy from a sustainable brand, and 73% of them would be willing to spend up to 10% more for sustainable products. The same goes for the attractiveness of these organizations as an employer of choice. 76% of the millennials in age 26 to 30 years stating that sustainability agenda of an employer to be an essential factor, and reporting on ESG matters will increase the chances of an organization attracting new talent. And what is ESG reporting? And before I do that, I would like to talk about companies worldwide are increasingly providing voluntary disclosures on governance, social, ethical, and environmental sustainability performance, typically through the preparation of standalone sustainability reports or corporate social responsibility reports. Sustainability reporting goes under many names, such as CSR reporting, and more recently, environmental and social governance reporting. Organizations are providing key performance indicators of their performance on greenhouse gas emissions, recycling, reducing wastes and water use, and use of renewable energy such as solar, wind, and hydro. Under the S, organizations are also assessed with their treatment of employees, the workplace environment they provide, the product safety, and community and its impact on the community. And more importantly, how the organizations are governed through its board of directors or senior management team, particularly how the risks and opportunities brought about by ESG matters are embedded in its strategy to ensure a sustainable future for the organization. You won't believe this, but there are some 400 voluntary sustainability reporting frameworks and standards of varying rigor and quality. The most widely used is the Global Reporting Initiative, or GRI, providing general sustainability reporting standards on the 3 dimensions of economic, social, and environmental performance. There is also the integrated reporting introduced by the International Integrated Reporting Council, defining integrated reporting as a process founded on integrated thinking and results in a periodic integrated report by an organization about value creation, preservation, or erosion over time of all the resources used by the organization to create value. This innovative reporting uses a multi-capital approach where 6 capitals are evaluated, namely financial, manufactured, intellectual, human, social and relationship, and natural capitals. In terms of the E, there are frameworks used, such as the Greenhouse Gas Protocol, to measure carbon emissions and reductions. There is also the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, or TCFD, which provides a recommendation for how organizations will consider climate change risks and explain how this might affect the organization's financial statements. The volume of frameworks is confusing and is sometimes called the alphabet soup of sustainability or ESG reporting. Often there is confusion and lack of consistency that has led to greenwashing claims, resulting to class actions and fines, and has sometimes undermined public confidence in these sustainability reports. To increase the trust and credibility of these disclosures, organizations are able to engage in independent assurance, usually performed by Big Four accounting firms or engineering and environmental experts. What are the trends in ESG reporting? Even Stock Exchange indicated the setting out of guidelines for listed companies in South Korea. And this is underway and expected to become mandatory as early as 2025. This initiative will help South Korea better navigate the low carbon transition to a greener future for the country. Thank you for listening, and my best wishes to all.
The world, facilitating good academic governance in our Adventist education system. With that, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Dr. Beardsley Hardy on the screen.
On my computer during a board meeting, and then my computer started to die. Fortunately, a break came up, and so during the break when people were chit-chatting, I walked around the room. I looked behind the curtains, I looked under the tables, I went all the way around, and then a board member noticed what I was doing, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm looking for power." And then he smiled and he said, "Don't let the others hear you say that you're looking for power. You could get in trouble." The theme of this conference is how to use power. It's about academic advancement for environmental, social, or good governance. And the focus of this presentation is on the principles and practices of good governance in Adventist higher education. Good governance furthers mission. Good governance enables institutions to use its resources to achieve its core purpose. Good governance is the steering wheel so that an institution stays on track. When governance and administration works well, the institution will be able to introduce new priorities, such as those strategic objectives that have been voted in the strategic plan of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. One of those key performance indicators, or KPIs, 5.3, addresses the doctrine of creation. "30,000 feet, 9,000 meters. It provides the big picture, the macro perspective. Management, on the other hand, is like driving a car across the country. It deals with daily operations. University governing bodies include the Board of Trustees, the University Council, and the Administrative Board. In some countries, it's just 2 levels and not 3. Academic governance in the West Central Africa Division, for instance, is one that has 3 levels. There, the Board of Trustees is higher than the University Council. In Liberia, the officially adopted name for the governing council is University Board of Trustees. In the case of division institutions such as Valley View University or Babcock University, the Board of Trustees is chaired by the division president, who's also referred to as the chancellor, while the council chair, 1 level lower, is one of the union presidents in the country where the university is located. That same person, the council chair, is referred to as the pro-chancellor. Functions of the Board of Trustees in the West Central Africa Division that has the 3 layers is first to appoint members of the University Council every 5 years to consider recommendations of the University Council, including the appointment, transfer, and dismissal of the University Vice Chancellor or President every 5 years, and or when a vacancy arises, to provide appropriations or allocate or raise funds for the university, to promote objectives of the university. The functions of the board are to outline and enact the general policies controlling the university in harmony with the standards and policies of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the university charter, to receive reports on the operation and progress of the university from the Vice Chancellor, the President, to carry out any other function that shall be deemed necessary for the successful running of the university. The powers and duties of the council, one level lower in this tri-layered system, is that they are elected by the constituency in session and include other lay representatives that are nominated by the university in consultation with the chancellor. It receives its authority from the constituency for governance of the institution. The delegation of the authority and power of the member of the corporation to a governing council is implicit in the act of appointing the governing council. The authority and responsibility are vested in the council as a whole body and are expressed in those actions that represent the majority opinion of the council. Bylaws define the function and responsibilities of the council. Governance powers create a corporate institution. The powers include to provide resources, provide policy guidance, and leadership necessary for its continued and successful existence, to ensure that the institution has systems and practices of accountability for compliance with applicable laws and regulations, and to operate in an ethical manner. The scope of governance pertains to the exercise of the powers of governance, and for them, this body, it includes the appointment of the Vice Chancellor or President, approval of the appointment of other key administrators and faculty, approval of policies, approval of funding mechanisms for the operation and facilities of the institution, and approval of legal, compliance, and ethical systems to assure accountability in its operations. The general powers of the council are to manage the primary business, property, and affairs of the institution, the duty to maintain the institution as a Seventh-day Adventist institution of learning and as an integral part of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and fulfillment of its teaching ministry, and to ensure alignment with the strategic plan of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, this quinquennium called I Will Go, and you can read that in detail at iwillgo2020.org. KPI, Key Performance Indicator 5.3, as mentioned early, is important to the function of a university and the topic of this conference, and that is to achieve significant increase in acceptance and practice of the Church's distinctive beliefs, especially relating to the belief in creation, Fundamental Belief 6, and principles of healthful living, Fundamental Belief 22. These are selected as they relate to environmental health. These two doctrines underlie the responsibility of humanity to exercise stewardship of creation and the environment, and to promote principles and practices and places for environmental and human health. Much more could be said about our duty to the earth, but that is for another presentation. We return now to principles of governance. General powers of the board are subject to the limitations of the Articles of Incorporation, the bylaws, and of all applicable civil law. All corporate powers are exercised by or under the authority of the council or board, and all the business and affairs of the institution are controlled by the council or the board. The general powers of the council, without limiting the general powers, the board or council has the power to appoint and remove all the officers of the council and institution and its agents and employees, to prescribe such powers and duties for them such as are consistent with law, the Articles of Incorporation, and the bylaws, to fix their compensation and require from them security for faithful service. General powers of the board and council include to establish the philosophies, goals, objectives, and policies of the institution, to appoint major administrative and academic personnel, to establish schools, centers, and programs of study. General powers of the board also include to provide financial oversight with approval of annual budgets, to authorize borrowing funds, to approve the audited annual financial statements, to approve the sale or other disposition of institutional owned land and property which is used or occupied for its primary purposes, and to approve voluntary support from the institution's various publics for the long-range development of the institution. Now, we turn to the administrative board, or also referred to as university management. Here, administration refers to the leadership of the institution, the management of the institution, the day-to-day conduct of the functions of the institution. Administration or management is a function of the vice chancellor or the president, and the administrative personnel responsible and accountable to the vice chancellor or president of the institution. The exercise of the powers of administration include to recommend to governance the approval of key staff members, to manage financing and funding, to manage the facilities and administer the operational policies of the institution. Administration has full responsibility and accountability to governance for the day-to-day operation of the institution, ranging from academic matters to student or staff matters. Non-agenda items for board council include matters such as interpersonal issues on campus that have not been reviewed through the established process, or to hear personal requests for supplies, privileges, upgrading. These are issues that relate to the day-to-day management of the institution. Personal requests for admission by students or adjudication of grades or employment. These are concerns for management and not the council. A university president is the CSO, the Chief Spiritual Officer. In this picture, you see the president-elect of IS giving the morning devotional, and there in the middle of the picture you see the board chair, Dr. Ella Simmons, and the retiring president, Dr. Steve Guptill, sitting down. This is an act of handing off the spiritual leader from the retiring president to the incoming president. Above all, a university president is the chief spiritual officer of the university. When it comes to the board or the council is chaired by an individual who is named in the bylaws, who is identified in working policy, and functions according to the university statutes. This individual is typically named based on their denominational leadership role to chair the Board of Trustees in Seventh-day Adventist schools or the council in order to foster alignment with the mission and the identity of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Typically, the union president is the chair for a union institution, and a general conference vice president is the chair of the board for a general conference school. And in this picture, you can see a number of individuals who are at an Andrews University board. You see the president there, you see the chair, who is a general conference vice president, Dr. Arthur Stelle, and you see some of the other administrators, Dr. Ralph Trecarton, making a presentation. The duties of the council. The duties revolve and are based on core values that make well-being of students the fundamental value of decision-making and action. It requires that council members and administration fulfill responsibilities with honesty, integrity, and confidentiality, and that they carry out their duty of loyalty to the institution, their duty of care for the institution, that they exercise collective responsibility as the full board or council. Every board or council has subcommittees that are established to review agenda items in detail, to do the due diligence that is necessary, and their terms of reference are established in the bylaws, and it normally includes committees such as an executive committee of the board, an academic committee, because of course a university is an academic enterprise, a budget, finance, and facilities committee, a student services committee, ministerial and theological education committee, a mission focus and spiritual life committee, and an audit committee. There may be other committees, such as a research affairs committee. The duties of the council, first and foremost, is to focus on mission, to strongly support the mission of the institution, to ensure that the institution remains committed to its mission. It should review the mission statement at least annually. In focusing on mission, that means to positively support and or represent the institution and to serve as an advocate for the institution to the church, to the local community, to the world community, and to external agencies or entities. Here you see a picture of the Mission Focus Committee at Loma Linda University. There's a physician who is reporting on community engagement and community service. And to the right, you see the board chair, Elder Tom Lemon, and around the room are other board members who are listening to how Loma Linda University is focusing on mission. For those in the institution or for board members, I encourage you to make the most of AAA, Adventist Accrediting Association. It is a friend of administration and the board to enable it to focus on mission, to get consultation from an interdisciplinary team who comes to campus and interviews and reviews documents, to focus on and revitalize mission, to mobilize the entire campus, especially for a new president. Having a AAA visit is a great opportunity to mobilize the entire campus, to provide a map for the future, to benchmark against best practices and other institutions in the world, and an opportunity to grow and strengthen the institution. In this picture, you see a picture of Dr. Carla Gober Park, who then was the director for the Center of Spiritual Life and Wholeness at Loma Linda University, and Dr. Randy Roberts, the senior pastor of the University Church. They are reporting to the Loma Linda University Board on the spiritual master plan of Loma Linda University. The next duty that board members have is the duty to care. As you see in this picture of these penguins, two of them caring for the little penguin. The duty to care means to take care of the institution. In practical terms, it means to attend meetings on a regular basis and be actively involved in the oversight of the organization. To exercise independent judgment. To be adequately informed for making decisions. Service on the Board of Trustees or Council requires time. That's part of exercising the duty of care. And in this picture, another picture from the Loma Linda University Board, you see from left to right Dr. Hart, who's the president of Loma Linda University, the board chairman, Elder Tom Lemon, a general conference vice president. Next to him was Carrie Heinrich, who at the time was the CEO of Loma Linda University Medical Center. Next to him was the late Dan Jackson, who was the president of the North American Division at that time. And opposite where the picture is, and that was me sitting in that seat taking the picture, is Elder Ted Wilson, the General Conference president. And next to him was the president of ADRA. Next to him was the executive vice president for medical affairs, Dr. Peverini. And next to him was Max Trevino, who's now retired, and next to him, Dr. David Williams, professor of Harvard University, at Harvard University School of Public Health, and next to him, Tom Werner, who then was with Advent Health. These are busy people. They have many things to do, and yet, when they accepted the responsibility to be on the board of Loma Linda University, despite their busy schedule, they give it time. They regularly attend and actively participate in normally scheduled meetings of the Board of Trustees and Council and special meetings as far as possible. During COVID, that meant that some of those meetings was done at all times of the day or night by means of Zoom. It means that board members devote time and study to the duties and responsibilities of being a member of the Board of Trustees or Council. It means to function faithfully in the execution of the reserved powers of the Board of Trustees and Council and avoid any inappropriate intrusion into the administration of the institution. You remember, governance is at 30,000 feet like an airplane, whereas administration deals with the day-to-day operations. The board must not get into the day-to-day details. Board members must suspend judgment until the facts are available and use one's expertise and informed judgment to give positive guidance to the board and the president, vice chancellor, in regard to aspects relating to that expertise. The duty requires that the board member uphold the process and right of others to be heard. The next duty of loyalty, is to ensure that the institution's activities and transactions are first and foremost advancing its mission. To recognize and disclose conflicts of interest, to make decisions in the best interest of the institution and its role in denominational structure. When it comes to finances, the duty of loyalty is to carefully analyze the financial status of the institution to ensure its financial integrity to the best of one's ability and on the basis of available information, to approve capital projects, to receive the auditor's report by means of the audit committee if it has been established. Council members must also manage conflicts of interest by first avoiding conflicts of interest or declaring conflicts of interest where they are unavoidable by reason of other appointments or positions. They are to avoid using the position on the board for personal gain, subordinating personal interest to the interest of the institution. They are to forthrightly bring to bear the perspectives and insights of the diverse constituencies which they represent, with minimal attention to other relationships in which one is involved. When they are on the board, they are to wear the hat of that institution. Duty of loyalty includes the responsibility for confidentiality. It's inappropriate for a board member in the regular course of business to disclose information about the organization's activities unless they're already known by the public or are a matter of public record, or the board member has been requested by the organization to provide the information to others. The duty of the board and trustees and council in relationship to the constituency is to demonstrate the understanding that the board of trustees or council derives its power, its authority from the constituency they serve. The member has no legal authority outside the meetings of the board of trustees or council, and the council member is always to conduct personal relationships on the basis of this fact. They are to interpret the institution to the church and express to the institution the goals and desires of the church. They are to provide the constituency with information regarding the school and its future development. There are certain situations that require a supermajority vote. A supermajority is a 2/3 vote and not a simple majority. These are important decisions such as to approve or ratify all changes to the Articles of Incorporation or the bylaws, to appoint the Board of Trustees, to approve any significant changes to the corporate purposes of the institution. Other powers reserved to the Board of Trustees or the Council by majority vote is the vote to remove from office any trustee with or without cause. The Council recommends to the Board of Trustees on the appointment of the Vice Chancellor or President by means of a supermajority. And upon recommendation of the Vice Chancellor President, then in turn appoint Deputy Vice Chancellors or Vice Presidents and all regular employees. They approve any merger, consolidation, dissolution, sale, or transfer of more than a fixed amount, and whatever that amount is, it is agreed upon in advance in policy. A council cannot just sell the institution's assets, and neither can administration without a vote. The council will approve all borrowing and spending above a fixed amount, and whatever that amount is, it's agreed upon in policy. There are some additional powers that are reserved to the Board of Trustees through a majority vote, that is 51%. And that is to approve the strategic plan, approve major construction projects, accept the annual audited financial statements, approve the annual operating and capital budget, to approve recommendations for business development plans and activities. These are a simple majority. A majority vote is also required to follow policies by which Seventh-day Adventist schools are to be administered, including standards of the Adventist Accrediting Association and the General Conference or Division working policy, to approve new academic programs or the closure of programs when there's no longer a need for them, to accept the report of the Adventist Accrediting Association, to approve faculty and staff actions, that is, hiring, termination, promotion, leave, and so on. Governance versus management. When the Board of Trustees or Council interact with administrators of the institution, with its faculty, employees, or students in roles outside of their role as trustees or council, they are expected to respect the difference between the roles of governance and administration. If they are in individual roles outside of the board, they must respect those boundaries. They must function faithfully as members of the governance of the institution in the execution of the reserved powers of the Board of Trustees and avoid any inappropriate intrusion into the administration of the institution. The board is at the 30,000 feet. They're not on the ground. They should avoid micromanaging the institution. What happens when there are complaints? What should a board member do? When any party makes a complaint to a member of the Board of Trustees or Council, they should refer the party to the Vice Chancellor, that is the President, for action without any comment or any commitment by the Council or trustee members. Grievances may be heard only after the institution's grievance procedure has been exhausted. What does a board member do when he has an opinion that differs from that of the board? What do you do with dissent from action of the board? Because you recall, some decisions require only a simple majority, 51%, which means 49% can be opposed. The judgment of the Board of Trustees or Council is expressed by majority vote, and this becomes the judgment of the entire body. When an individual member dissents from an action of the Board of Trustees or Council, he or she should be careful to observe the provisions in the bylaws regarding expression of that dissent outside of the meetings of the board. Only after a request that a dissenting vote be recorded, thus putting the board or council on formal notice of this objection, then is he or she ethically free to express this dissent outside of the board or council. But even then, negative statements should be discreet, infrequent, and not in self-defense. The Board of Trustees and Council further the mission of the institution when they provide faithful and expert service on the board or council, when they support the actions of the board or council, when they provide direct or indirect financial support, when they publicly support the mission, when they promote services offered to the church and to the community. It is said, work, wealth, wisdom. Board members must provide at least two of the three: work, wealth, and wisdom. When the board has done its work, it's still not finished. It needs to engage in evaluation tasks. That is, to evaluate the Vice Chancellor or the President, to follow up on AAA recommendations, to evaluate its own functioning process as a board and its outcomes, to evaluate the indicators of support, financial support, and to evaluate how well it addresses conflicts of interest. How to evaluate the board's functioning? The chair of the board or council shall annually ask every trustee to complete an evaluation form relating to the work of the board or council that is intended to assess, first of all, the adequacy of preparation of meetings of the board and its committees. 2, effectiveness and efficiency of the meetings of the board and its committees. 3. Any other items as may be desired by the chair or members of the board or council. A final point is that a board should have a handbook to guide them that would include in it the list of the constituency, the members, the process for election of board members, the membership, the officers of the board, dates for the meetings of the board, indication of what constitutes a quorum to conduct business, a list of the committees of the boards and their terms of reference, facts about the institution such as the list of programs and services offered, the accreditations that the institution holds, and the approvals that it has. It should include the historical highlights, the institutional organizational chart, and the administration. Well, now it is quiz time. Are you ready? Are these appropriate actions by the council or board? Number 1, a vote to subdivide college property into plots and sell it below market price to faculty and board members on which to build private residences. I'm waiting for the answer and what the issue is. I think you're saying no, that's not appropriate action, and that is correct. It is not, because it is a conflict of interest. In such a vote, the board is taking the assets of the institution and appropriating it for personal gain. Next one, a vote to award the school president or vice chancellor with an honorary doctorate. Is that an appropriate board action? I'd love to hear your answers. And I think you're right. The answer again is no. This is not an appropriate action, and that is because of a conflict of interest. Now, if the president were retired, that would be a different matter. But for an existing sitting president to be awarded an honorary doctorate by the board would be a conflict of interest. Final question. A vote by the board to exchange 2 bulls for 3 cows. Now you might laugh, but each one of these actions that I have put up here actually were found during a AAA visit at different institutions as actions taken by a board. So this board took a vote to exchange 2 bulls for 3 cows. Is that an appropriate board action? The answer again is no. And that is because the board is getting into micromanaging the institution. That is a matter for the administration to deal with. The board should not be getting into such ordinary day-to-day financial transactions. Our success in good governance depends on the right use of power and on being connected to the source of all power.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beardsley Hardy, for such an insightful lecture. So today's seminar certainly helped us to better understand ESG and ways to better practice it. And relating what we've just learned to the university's ESG theme, which was Love for Life, Restoration of the Earth, we do look forward to seeing Samyuk University fulfilling its social responsibility for future sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have come to the end of the ESG seminar on the 116th anniversary of Samyuk University. Thank you for staying with us till the end. And lastly, we ask for your continued interest, support, and participation in the newly founded International Society for Academic Advancement. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.